Welcome, everyone, to Your Little Castle Show. We get to talk to some experts around the world, some people that know stuff about things. Um, Welcome, Curtis Harlan and Jason Arfman. Curtis and I have been friends for many years, and talk to me. Hey, man, I'm learning about this gold stuff. You guys ever heard of gold? I mean, since the beginning of time, people talk about gold and silver. I think they even had it back in Jesus' time. They were talking about it, right? And we also have the CEO of 7K. Jason's the CEO of 7K Metals. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Here.
Were those introductions good? Anything else I should share that is important about what we're going to talk about here?
Well, I'll tell you, we're excited about helping to get average households access to gold and silver. That's what we're talking about today. We've heard about it for years. It's kind of been a rich man's game. We see governments buying it, we see banks buying it, but how does the average household get access to real money, which is gold and silver, precious metals?
Yeah, like I said, Curtis and I go back many years now. How long, Curtis? 10 years, I guess, altogether? Somewhere.
At least, yep.
Yeah, it's more than that because it was like 2013, 2025 now. And we just kind of share with each other what we're doing over time and reconnect. And after I kind of got a little bit better understanding here, I'm like, I think gold might be something that I might want to learn more about. And so I'm actually working with you guys on some of this stuff. It's kind of fun. I'm learning a lot. Why did you decide this is something you like to learn more about and potentially, do what you're doing here, Curtis?
Well, Carter, when it comes to purchasing gold and silver, I was scared. I didn't know when I was buying it if it was real or not. And when I hooked up with 7K, I tell you, just learning about what they were trying to do here, of educating people out there when it comes to gold and silver, and having the opportunity, to not have, I didn't have $3,000 to buy an ounce of gold, but they got a platform called a Sound Money Wallet, and Jason can talk about that. That's really unbelievable. That gave me the opportunity to really get gold and silver from a trusted source that I knew that was, pure.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the problem with the world in general. How do I learn about this stuff, and then what can I get into without having to break the bank, I guess? But tell me, Jason, you guys have come up with a platform here that allows people to be involved with this commodity that everybody knows and loves for thousands of years.
Yeah, absolutely. Our grandparents, our great grandparents, they knew the importance of owning and buying gold and silver and putting it away for a rainy day, right? Because it's an asset. It's not a currency. It's an asset, and it's not subject to inflation. So one of the things that we saw early on is we said, a lot of people know they should own it. They don't know where to buy it from, or how to trusted source to buy it from, or how to even store it. So, what we did is we came in and we said, this proven industry that's been around for over 500 years, how do we update it and bring it into modern day, right? And really help the average households and the baby boomers and these younger kids coming up. How do we help them to understand the power of buying gold and silver and allow them to buy it on any budget? So we created some technology around Sound Money Wallet that helps people to buy fractionally. So literally, you can buy, if your budget is $5 a month, you can buy gold at $5 a month. It's stored physically in a private vault. If you want to liquidate it, we can help you liquidate it. Once you've accumulated enough for the shipment level that an ounce of gold or an ounce of silver, we'll ship it directly to your door if you want to hold some of it. But what we wanted to do is we really wanted to bring this to light. We wanted to bring education, empower people, teach them where they can buy gold and silver from a trusted source, and how they could do it on really any budget without the games that a lot of companies are playing out there, where they want you to buy a minimum amount, and sometimes these amounts are, $60,000 to get the best pricing. And we said, what if we were to flip that on the end? What if we were to just give the best pricing and just get the masses buying? And so that's what we really set out to do 8 years ago. And we're here doing it. We're transforming how gold and silver is being purchased. And people, around the world, we're in all 50 states. We're in multiple international countries, helping households buy gold and silver every single month on discipline, little by little, and helping them build their assets over time.
Okay, so yeah, you're helping families around the world. I've got my slider camera going here, if you guys see this, but behind me I've got the TV wall. Sound Money Wallet, we know is something that's important, and that's kind of what you talk about with, well, what is a wallet? and you want sound money. When you explain to me what the sound money wallet is a little bit?
Absolutely. Sound Money Wallet, as a member of 7K, you get access to this amazing technology where you can link your bank, or you can use a credit card, whatever you want, and it allows you to buy gold and silver eagles or gold and silver bars, and you can buy it at any level, right? Curtis mentioned that gold is 3,000 an ounce, so very intimidating to think, hey, I'm going to buy an ounce of silver. What if you could buy an ounce of silver over a year, right? And you own an ounce of silver, and that is your physical silver, right? And so we allow people to buy fractionally on any budget every single month. You also have a way to say, you know what, I've put in $500 into gold. I need it liquidated. I had an emergency where my furnace broke down. I need it to come back, and it needs to come back into fiat currency and go back to my bank. We have you hit a button and you sell it back at the current market rate, and it comes back. We cash it out and allow you to have fiat currency to transact with. So really, it's the ability to own assets. My grandpa told me, he says, I don't want you ever holding cash in the bank, right? He says inflation or devaluing of the dollar, when we see governments print money, we see the dollar devalue. Hold in assets, don't hold in currency, right? And so gold and silver is a form of an asset that is very liquid. It's liquid around the world. And we want people to own it. We want people to be able to buy it on their budget, accumulate it over time, and be able to liquidate it when they want to. Or even if they want to, there's another button in there that says ship it to my home. We'll ship it directly to your home, free up our vaults, right? So it gives flexibility, it gives usability of gold and silver, and it really empowers households to be able to buy on any budget very easily and take the worry out of the old ways of doing it, is going down to a pawn shop or a gold shop. You buy it, and then how do you liquidate it, right? You don't know how to do all that stuff. So we really brought the gold and silver buying business to modern day and made it very, very exciting. And we're disrupting the industry like never before and making this an exciting business where everybody can participate.
Yeah, I was going to say, by the time, as a small business owner, when do I put money aside for things for myself, and how do I do that? And getting into the stock market or mutual funds or whatever there is out there, this is a really convenient. I mean, I don't buy gold in the past because I don't know how to do that. And how would I get to that? And I don't have whatever the going rate for gold is. And how do I buy a bar or whatever it is? You've solved all those problems.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you look at it, even back to 2016, we were right around $1,200 an ounce for an ounce of gold. And now you fast forward to today and you're seeing, hey, we're pushing that 3,000 mark. We're right at $2,960 an ounce for an ounce of gold. And for those who have bought precious metals and even silver, I looked at silver back in 2016. I think we were right around that $18 an ounce. We're up around $32 an ounce now. So, when it comes to holding of precious metals, it's been a very consistent growth, right? And it's been able to protect wealthy families of the world. Has been protecting their income. We know wealthy families of the world have bought it and held it, and use it as wealth protection strategy to really help them in holding the value of their hard-earned money.
Gotcha. Curtis, I mean, you enjoy helping people with this, I can assume. Obviously, you've been doing this for a long time now, and we've talked a few times. I said, man, I've got to get involved with this. This is going to change my life too a little bit, I think. But we talk about, behind me, I've got these slides, some of the information I pulled that I can share a little bit if that's okay. Are people working harder just to get by? I mean, gosh, I know these days it seems like my family is one of the first out there, I would say, not in the history of the world, but both the mom and the dad were working. And, a lot of times in the past, that wasn't always the case. But now to make ends meet, both family members of the parents have to work, it seems. How do people build up wealth? How do they learn about doing things like this? And what is some of your advice or strategy you say to help people?
Well, I think it's really understanding the difference between currency and sound money. And that's something that 7K has really educated me and changed my thinking because, I was participating in the fiat system for many years. I had a construction company. We handled a lot of money each year, and we would try to save money up, and it just seemed like every time we get a little bit saved up, it disappear. And when I got introduced to 7K and the ability to be able to buy in a sound money wallet increments at a time, it was like allowing me to gain in purchasing power because I can't predict any prices or what gold's going to do here, but when you look at the history of what gold and silver has done over the past 5,000 years, it makes sense to have a little bit of it. I just didn't know how to get it. I didn't want to go to the local pawn shop or the jewelry store because I didn't know if it was real or not. And when Jason, I went up to their office in Idaho, and he showed me how they test the stuff and they show the purity of it. And if they find something that's not pure, they send it back to whoever, or they don't buy it. So we know as a consumer we're not gonna get scammed. And to be able to teach my kids about setting up a emergency fund in something that's sound was just I felt confident about that. I felt safe, I think is the word I want to use. I just felt safe about having that.
Good strategy, Jason. Give me a little more of your perspective on that.
Yeah, people are working harder for their money, Carter. It's you look at it, things cost more than they cost. I mean, we're talking about the price of eggs right now, right? We're talking about the price of homes. We're talking about the price of fuel. We're talking about prices all around the country. And really what happened there, right? What happened is we saw governments print money to try to get out of economic hardships. We saw this back in the day. This is why you saw Richard Nixon suspend the gold standard in the first place. The US dollar used to be backed by gold, but because government printed too much currency and they couldn't back it all, other countries were asking for their gold. They're saying, hey, we think the US is printing too much currency here, dollars, and it's not fully backed, so we want our gold and silver. You guys, we're talking about some crazy times where there's a lot of people that are working harder just to pay their bills. And one thing that we do, Carter, is we help people to get into assets so that their buying power is protected for the future. And also, Carter, we've got a little thank you program where we allow people from around the country to earn a little thank you from us every time they refer a new customer. We give them free gold. We have what's called instant gold pay. So they refer a customer to us, we give them free gold right in their Sound Money wallet instantly when they refer a new customer to us, and we help them get ahead. Think about that. If you can't afford to buy gold and silver, go out and earn it. Send us a referral of a member in your area. We would love to get them into our program as well, help teach them, and we're going to give you gold along the way. So that's what we want to do, is we want to help families really get ahead, own their buying power, and get ahead in life. So,
well, as it may happen, there's technical difficulties, and I have a new superpower computer here. It crashed, but what I've learned is because the application we're using here, it keeps going. So thank you for keeping it going while I'm connected now through my phone, because it comes up more quickly. I've got everything. It's still running though, so thank you for holding over there while the show was going on behind the scenes. Well, I tell you, I do get super excited about, my passion is always to help people. I enjoy that. It makes me feel good. People, oh, sure, cowboy, you like to help people. Go look up at some of the fun stuff I've been fortunate to be part of. But as somebody who came through a coma and was lucky to survive, I was hit by a drunk driver and pulled a ventilator out of my own throat. And I'm like, hey man, if I can come through this, what else can other people go through that and recover from that they didn't realize they were capable of? And then when you get to help people, then you see that are struggling in life because life is tough. You want to give them an opportunity, as I'm pulling up here, to find ways to make it on this little planet. And when I get to do things like work with people like you and wow, I've got the CEO of a very large company that has thousands of people involved. Tell me some of the numbers about what you guys' history is and how many people are involved with your organization and what you're doing on a national level, or whatever level you would like to explain.
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, we have grown from the grassroots right out of Idaho Falls, Idaho, and we started small, and we started with a really solid foundation. And over the last, we're now going into our 9th year, going into almost a decade in business. And we have absolutely first of its kind technologies that we've brought to the table, that, you know, people said we could never bring to the table, and we said we're going to do it because we don't see anything like this out there. And we've literally brought tens of thousands of people from all around the United States, Canada, Mexico, all into Europe. We've got we're now expanding also into parts of Asia. And I'll tell you, Carter, the thing you said it, you love helping people. This is a community of people helping people, right? It's an amazing culture. We have, you know, people from around the globe that are helping each other, educating each other, empowering each other. And, you know, you look at it, right, in today's age, I know we were talking earlier, you know, you mentioned something like, we live in some of the most exciting times ever. Things are happening around the country that we have never seen before. And you talk about gold and silver, it's a top of the topics right now on a global scale, because they're already talking about, you know, auditing Fort Knox. That's the gold that backed the US currency, right? Is it still there? You know, what's happening? Because everybody knows anybody who holds physical assets, banks, countries, nations, China's been buying up gold and silver, Russia's been buying up gold and silver. The US is one of the largest purchasers of gold and silver. Is it there? Right. And so that's what we want to help individual families do, is do what the big corporations and the governments of the world are doing. Protect your wealth by buying precious metals, buying an asset. We know there's a lot of assets you can be buying in the world, real estate and all kinds of things. The nice thing about gold and silver, it's the most liquid asset that you can have. Instantaneously, same day, you can sell that. You can't sell real estate in one day. Sometimes you can in some markets and some conditions, but, you know, gold and silver, every family can own it because they can buy little pieces of it and then they can sell it off also fractionally, in any amounts. So we really like what's happening. We love educating people, and we love the concept of people helping people and building a community around educating, empowering, and giving them technologies that can help disrupt an industry that's been around for a long time, but really it needed a revamping. And that's what we're doing right now. And that's why we're reaching all throughout the nations and into multiple international countries.
Go ahead, Curtis. You got something you want to add to that?
Well, you know, I was just thinking as Jason was talking there, here's what separates 7K from every gold and silver company out there. And this was one of my main reasons for grabbing a membership, is when you go to get rid of it, what is a pawn shop, a gold and silver jewelry, what are they going to pay you for it? And normally when I would try to sell it, they were going to pay me. There's something called spot. Those of you that buy gold and silver, you're familiar with it. You know, it's spot price. It's the world price, the paper price of gold and silver. Well, that's what all these dealers, you know, recognize. And they're paying 85 to 90% of what spot price is. So you're losing money on an asset. This is what separates 7K from all those people out there. Jason, I'm going to say it because you guys pay at least spot price back in the Sound Money wallet, and it's just unheard of. So my asset is being protected. And when I need to liquidate it, it's like, okay, it never left their facility. They know that it's never been tampered with, so I can liquidate it by the push of a button, which allows me, when I get into a crunch on a weekend and, hey, my transmission or you know, my freezer went out, I got to spend $1,000 for a brand new freezer. I need to get some of my emergency fund, push the button, guess what? It's in my bank account in 24 to 48 hours. I love it. And it's just, we have something here that truly helps people. They just need to grab a membership. And anyway, I just get excited talking about it.
Well, as you talk about that, I'm a technology guy. Even when my computer crashes, find a way to get back on. I know this thing was continuing to record in the background, hopefully, but I can edit as necessary if to piece it together. But it looks like it came back up, and so here we are. But as technology impacts our planet, that's what I do all day and night, right? Mom and Dad said, you're going to go to some computer classes here during the summer while you're playing baseball, just in case the professional baseball career doesn't work out. I recently met with my old baseball coach 33 years later, and he says, Carter, you were as good as or better than the shortstop I had that made it to Double-A that was setting records and was going to go to the bigs until he got hurt. So thank goodness we have backup plans and things to back up what we're working on because of the job and investments. But the technology is what I'm going at here. You guys have figured out a way to manage this and set it up so I can go to a website and I can get everything I need without having to physically go to a bank or talk to a broker. And I see these options, places you can buy gold on through certain things, but I don't even know who I'm dealing with there. Explain to me how the technology has helped you guys bring this to the world, and how you've developed a reputation now to really be a leader in in this space.
Yeah, that's a really good question. We are an e-commerce site, and we also use multiple platforms of technology to really solve the problems of our members, right? We listen to our members. We have a membership model here where people come in and they're a part of our community. And one of the things we do is the only way we market is members refer other members, right? And so you think about a platform where the only thing that we have to do here is please the members that we service every single week, every single day, because they're our voice, they're our marketing. And they go out and they refer other people. And then, we use, through Sound Money Wallet, I told you this before, but it's instant gold pay. Imagine that they get 20 or $80 in instant gold pay from referring a member to us, and they can do that as many times as they want. We'll keep giving it to them. And that really is the difference, right? Because if you think about it, if you're going to a good movie, if you're going to a good restaurant, who do you go to? You go to your peers and you ask them, where am I going to buy? Where am I going to find the trust? And so, we've got an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. We want to be the trusted source for families on where they go to buy their gold and silver. And I know technology scares some people. We've got people all the way in their 70s and 80s that are with us, and it takes them maybe a little bit longer to learn about how to set up their Sound Money Wallet or do our a few of our things. But what it's doing is it's giving them peace of mind. It's giving them peace of mind because they did come in through a trusted source. We've earned that trust by servicing our members before, and those members have now brought their family members to us or their neighbors to us. And so that's really what we know is working. We know that there's so many marketing platforms out there, and we use the very members that we have that are happy every single day and that are being empowered and are receiving knowledge every single day. We have training platforms that we do for them. We teach them what spot is. We teach them what premiums are. We teach them what buybacks are. We have a whole buyer certification, collector certification. We really have an amazing platform here where people can jump in and really learn. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. We are minting coins. We're minting artistic coins, collectible coins. We use one of the most technologically advanced mints in the entire world for some of the most beautiful coins on the planet. For the collectible side as well. So we do all kinds of things to really help our members jump in, understand, and really do what the best. Yeah, there you go. There's one. There's a JFK coin you have there.
I'll say that. Take a look there. Can I share that? That's pretty cool.
Yep.
And I got my first coin after I became a member, and I'm like, I showed it to a buddy of mine who does this, and we're not getting any speculation of values where he says, but that thing is awesome and probably valuable. And
so
I looked at that. I'm like, now, wow, you guys have some top tier quality stuff too, and that's JFK. That's cool.
Yeah, we actually handed that series to Robert Kennedy at a little event in Utah. It was fun because he was telling the stories of JFK. Right, we have a whole series that we do in our collection called An American Life, where we tell the life of major influential presidents throughout the years. And so that's been an amazing series where people go out and collect those as well. And we do everything. We've done AC/DC coins, we've done 7 Summit coins, we've done Disney coins. We've recreated the Roman Empire series. We've done the Speed of Sound coin, which is, you talk about technology. We built a coin there that took almost 2 years to develop through engineering, and it's over the top. It's over the top, and people, when they see them, they want them. And so that's what we do, you guys. We really take things to a new level. We're reinventing, we're disrupting the gold and silver industry with technology, with cutting edge engineering into new coin thoughts and new series and new collectible stuff. And really, we're just taking it to a whole new level. And we want to be the best that we can be every single day for our members, and really help others to see that as well, and make them feel comfortable in the process of buying gold and silver.
Lots of information here I get to dig into a little bit. This is a kind of a evolution of inflation and the way things become valued historically. And so silver, we're talking about here this car. This is a Mustang, right? Everybody knows the old classic Mustang today versus then. And can somebody tell me a little bit what we're sharing with people here on this slide? I might put on the screen if that's okay for people to take a look at real quick.
That's my favorite slide. You know, my very first car was a 68 Mustang that my dad purchased. He actually he had an old car that broke down, and he purchased that car from a Ford Mustang dealership in Salmon, Idaho. And he bought that car back in 1968 for $2,800. So in this example, a brand new Mustang back in 1965 was $2,500, right? And we know that. And back in 1965, $1 was 1 ounce of silver. So here's what we look at, and we give this example because if you kept your $2,500 and you bring it till today, and you say, I want to take $2,500 currency and buy a brand new Mustang, it's ridiculous. That's like a nice down payment on a Mustang, right? But if you take 2,500 ounces of silver, if you would have saved in silver back in 1965, and you would have just bought 2,500 ounces of silver and brought it to today, look at your buying power. 2,500 ounces of silver is around $80,000, getting you basically 2 Mustangs. So that's what we talk about. When we talk about inflation, I really think of devaluing of the dollar, right? Because what happens and what is being talked about right now, during tough times, the government prints all this money, gives out free checks. What does that do? It devalues dollars. You can't print gold and silver. Okay. It takes effort to get it out of the ground. We see people struggling every day. Now we have bigger machines and more technology to get more of the gold and silver out of the ground, but it still is massive effort, massive amounts of fuel, massive amounts of energy to be able to get gold and silver out of the ground. And gold and silver is usable, right? It's usable in all kinds of forms, from solar panels to medical instruments. It is a precious metal that has been known for over 500 years, over 5,000 years. We see in biblical times. It's
right.
a form of real money. So what we're showing here is that if you actually hold in gold and silver, if you hold in an asset, it is not subject to that inflation. You have more buying power later. If you do what the banks tell you to do and get a savings account or a CD account, that your money every single month, every single year is devaluing. It's going down in purchasing power. $2,500 again cannot even buy you rims and tires for a brand new Mustang. So that's why we teach people. This is why it's important to buy and accumulate. Now, we're not telling you to take all of your funds and put it into gold and silver. We're saying, what is your budget to start accumulating? And those that do go on a budget and start disciplining themselves every single month to put into an asset, whether it's $5 a month, $100 a month, whatever that is, that you can put into to gold and silver to be able to accumulate more wealth. We had a guy the other day that said, I've been here. This isn't even Curtis. Curtis has a lot of gold and silver, but we had another gentleman. He was a single dad of 4 daughters. And he came to me, he says, I've been living paycheck to paycheck for years. And he was on a trip with us. And he said, over the last 4 years, I've been able to, use the referral side of the business to really help me pay off some of my credit card debt and get out of debt. But he said, the biggest thing is, he says, I now have over $50,000 in collectible and bullion assets that I've accumulated over the last 4 years. He goes, I've never had that type of savings. And he says, I'm so grateful that I have it. It allows me to leverage other loans. It allows me to have a peace of mind that if I ever need to liquidate any of those assets, I can do so in an emergency situation. And he said, never in my lifetime have I had $50,000 in assets sitting there waiting for me. So that's what we're passionate about doing, is helping those people get to that point and understanding the power of doing that.
I got a cue on that. That's something I've noticed personally. Somebody who was in a bad accident. I had a little settlement, and my dad had his finished his PhD in academic finance, and they did all but dissertation. So passed his oral exams, distinguished. And the joke was that his advisor and another person on the board, she didn't show up, and they didn't get, his advisor and her didn't get along. Otherwise, he wouldn't have got distinguished, but that's funny. And then he didn't write his dissertation, so he's all but dissertation. Anyway, smart guy. And says, Carter, what do you need to do to be very wealthy when you're older? Take this money that you've gotten from your settlement, which wasn't a whole lot considering I went through a coma, and some of the settlements you hear today, I won't say the number, but nothing. Don't spend that money. I spent it. I spent it like most people do, invested it into technology and learned a lot. My mom's like, you didn't just blow it. But what, as I look back now, because I spent that money, the things I now have that have grown into pretty nice little pockets of, you know,